Okay, good morning, friends. Shalom Aleichem, Agon Chodesh. We're continuing in Mishnah Berura, Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman Ayin Tes. We're in the middle of Seif Beis. The Mechaber said as follows. The Mechaber says if you're on a high spot, or the tzoya is on a high spot, or a low spot, or the tzoya is in a different room, with a doorway in between, if you don't smell it, it's not a problem according to the Rosh of Ahaya Machanech HaKadosh. According to the Rashba, it's a problem if you could see it. And if it smells, the Mechaber says, Loi Mahani Hafsaka V'loi Shina Reshus. Says the Mishnah Berura, Sivkatan Tes Zayin, Ukedeyazu Pasku Achronim. The Achronim Paskin, that if it smells, a Hafsaka will not help. Now, what about making a sukkah in a place that it will smell? So the Mishnah says later on, Siman Tafresh Lamed, Sivkatan Dal, the Dirshu quotes, that if you have an alternative, don't make it there. But if you have nowhere to make it, then you're yoitze your chiyuv, but you can't make a bracha. Okay. The Mishnah Berura is now going on the words of the Mechaber that if there is a smell, a hafsaka does not help. You need 4 amos from where the smell stops. V'yesh makilin, some are makel that if you have a hefsek, dai ad makam shichla reach levad, it's enough just to go where it doesn't smell. You don't have to go 4 amos away from where the smell stops. Va'ayin beber halacha. Look at Bir Halacha Derei Mascha V'loi Shina Reshus. I am in Mishnah Berura Sivkatan Yedzayin Masha Kasavnu that you need 4 amos from where the smell stops. This is the opinion of the Lavush, the Gra, the Chai Adam. The lenient opinion, who says as long as you don't smell it, is the Prisha, the El Yarabba, the Derech HaChaim, and the Shulchan Shloimei, and the Pri Megadim in the Mishvat Zav is Nishar B'tzarch Iyan. This is also interesting. This is what Rabbi Yaakov was asking me yesterday. Let's say it's covered and it smells. Do you need to go 4 amos away from where the smell stops, or is it enough just not to smell it? So there are different opinions, like we wrote earlier in the Hakdama. By the way, the Dirshu brings, regarding Tsoya Mechusa, the Mishnah brought in Siman Ayin Vav Sivkatan Gimel, the Pri Megadim, as long as you don't smell it. And he asked the Stira that in Siman Ayin Tes, the Pri Megadim is Mesupik. It seems like in a number of places, listen, they're very important. It seems like in most places, the Mishnah Berura brings that if tsoya is covered and you don't smell it, you're okay. You don't have to go 4 amos away from where the smell stops. Which has tremendous nafkaminas with dirty diapers. Let's say you have a kid, you know he has a dirty diaper, but you don't smell it. You could tell it's nice and packed, it looks like it's malei v'gadosh in there. But you don't smell it. Why? Because the diapers have some kind of barrier, and the kid is wearing the tights they put on the boys nebuch and then pants on top of it, and you don't smell it. So it's a big nafkamina. Do you need to go 4 amos away from where the smell stops, or is it enough to not smell it? Now I don't remember. The Dirshu is bringing that earlier in Sivan Ayin Vav Sivkatan Gimel, the Pri Megadim says as long as you don't smell it, and then he brings the Pri Megadim as Mesupik. And later on in Siman Tzaddik, he brings that you could be Mekel. I don't remember what we said in the Hakdama here. Let's take a look. He says, in the Hakdama, in Shvi, this is on page 222, he says, Reach Rashi Yishla Iker have a Kitsaya min Atara, can Sakal Zach Machar Dad Hamas Mom Shikala Reach, Achle Indian Zak Kill Mitzadim Cheder Achar, Af Deloy Mahani Hefsik Reach Ra, Mikomak Marchak Dad Hamas Mom Shikala Reach in Sarach. He says, "V'gam le'inyan mechusa soisar prima gadam es atzmai u'mashna shechazar by the b'simin ayin vav masha the soisam karajba the mechusa mikri reach rasha in loy iker vein sarch rak ad makom sheyichla hareach." Uv'soif siman zeh b'mishvayz of chazar v'nisha v'sarch iyan. The gra, by the way, is machmer. I mean, the question is, covered reach ra that has an ikar is soya min Torah, and you always have to distance 4 amos from where the smell stops. The question is, what about covered soya? Is that reach ra sheish ikar, or is that not? It seems like it's a very big source of unclarity. So what about davening and saying Dvarim Shabbat next to a baby who's wearing a diaper, and you're not sure what's the matzav? So I mean, I'm sure by now there must be an app, you know, you scan the kid and then you see what his story is. But let's say you're not sure. So I would say ask the mother. The mother knows. So the Shevet HaLevi says it's mutter. You don't have to be concerned. Maybe there's soya mechusa, but if there is soya, then we're machmer, and you have to go dalat amos from where the smell stops. But Rabbi Glatstein Abishal also says that. Rabbi Yashiv says that lamaisa, you b'diavad you could be makel and just go away that you don't smell it when it's covered. But l'chadchila you shouldn't rely on this. Okay, that's why you should daven in shul. And also not bring babies into the shul. Fine. V'loy shinu Reshus, says Mishna. Alke mishum tzval b'bayis. Someone who's davening in the house, v'hiriach reich ram makamach, he smells something. Yafsik, he should interrupt. V'yisha ad sheyavarech and wait till the smell passes. A guy who has an illness that he can't smell. Either he has COVID or he has a psychological illness that he thinks that his COVID makes him that he can't smell. It could be you could be lenient. Even though we had yesterday, didn't we have yesterday? It's and Siman we had, look in Sif Aleph, Siman Ayin Tes Sif Aleph, that someone who has a choili she'ein mariach, he has to go 4 amos away from where the smell stops to someone who could smell. That's talking about when there's soya behind you. But now you have an additional factor where it is shinui Reshus. I don't understand why you could be makel here. It sounds like with that additional factor you could be makel. Why? Look in the Sha'ar Tzion. The Sha'ar Tzion says, Ki el yorabah medama l'layla shenizkar b'siv katan yadalid v'sham hader chachai mater b'shas hadchak. In Sivkat and Yudalid we said that, very good, that if you're in Reshus Acheres and it's the night or you close your eyes, then it would be okay according to the Rashba. So l'chayra, because you don't see it, so l'chayra, this also, maybe it should be like B'layla, the Efshar the Shamishim the Sinla is a Das Harash. It could be over there because we're combining the Das Harash. I thought for sure it's because we're combining the Das Harash. The opinion of the Rush is, meaning it makes it a Svek Sveka. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't really understand why it would help if the person themselves can't smell. Sivkatan Yotes. Shala Im he'aviru tsoya b'bayis. Let's say they took the tsoya out of the house, v'nishar adayin reich ra b'bayis. But there's a smell. Yesh lahachmer shvi machmer. Miu nirali demisha edem eriach mutar likris was that. But someone who can't smell, he would be allowed to read, again, if it's what we call tsoya she'ein la ikar. Okay, Sif Gimel. Sif Gimel. Chatzar ketana shenifritza b'milua lagdoila. A small courtyard that broke in its fullness into a big one. V'hagadoila oidefes olam natzadim. And the big one is bigger than it on the sides. You know what the case is? I'm going to try to draw it. Here we go. Let's see. You see? This is Chatzar Ketana. Shenifritza b'milua. The entirety of it is open to a Chatzar Gedola. Okay? Very simple case. This is, we had this by... I don't remember. By what?
I have it in Arabic all the time.
Yeah, no, where do we had it? We had it in... Did we have it? We had it somewhere.
Yeah, with a...
Oh, Shliach Tzibor, with a minion, right. Being mitztaref la'asara, very good. Okay. So, Chatzar Ketana shenifritza b'milua lagdoila v'hagadoila oidefes olam natzadim ketana lo chashuv k'bayis b'fnei atzma. The small one is not a separate room, since it's open in its fullness to the bigger one. Aval Agdoila, the bigger one, it extends beyond the small one, mitzadzeh, on both sides. So this is not really an accurate drawing. So just imagine for a moment the big one is extending on both sides. B'milua. Chashiva k'bayis b'fnei atzma. Hilkach. Im saya bagdoila, if there's saya in the big one, also likris b'ktana, you can't say dvarim shabdush in the small one, but b'ktana, if there's in the small one, ad sheyachik kashir. I'm sorry, also likris b'ktana, ad sheyachik kashir. If you have saya in the big one, you can't read in the small one until you distance yourself 4 amos from where the saya or the small stops. Im saya b'ktana, if there's saya in the small one, mutar likris b'gdoila, b'loy harchaka. As long as im ein magia loy reach ra. Now wait a second. You have tsaya in the small one. You can read in the big one without distancing. Im ein magia loy reach ra. That would only work according to the Rosh. But what about according to the Rashba? We'll see in the Mishnah Berura. Kashir, hainu da'ad amos mimakam shekala reach. 4 amos from where the smell stops. Kei muchach b'beis Yosef, ayim beber halacha. But if you have in the Ketana, so if you have in the Gdoila, then the small one, the small room is not considered a separate room. You would have to distance 4 amos from where the smell stops. But if there is tzay in the Ketana, you could read in the Gedoila, as long as the reach ra doesn't reach you. Now, what about according to the Rashba, that if you see it, it's an issue? Says the Mishnah Berura Kashir, Imein, Sasam Kadeya Kamaisa Shabasaf HaKoidem. He's being soisem like the opinion of the Rosh, that if you're b'shus acheres, it's v'haya machanach kadosh. And according to the Rashba, I would say he's not being soisem. He's just not getting into it. Of course, according to the Rashba, it would be a problem.
You make it a kippah in the case, say it's where you can't see it, or is that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. In other words, he's not getting involved. He's not. And we all know, according to the Rashba, if you could see it, it's a problem. So, he's just saying that the big one, vis-a-vis the small one, is a different Reshus, but the small one, vis-a-vis the big one, is not a different Reshus. What the laws of different Reshus are, it will depend. We did have before, if you close your eyes, whether that's going to do the job or not. Okay, Rabbi Glatstein, have a great day. Kol Tov. Be well.